Welcome to Basketball Heads Live. I'm your host, Glenn Poole Harding. And tonight, special edition is about the treatment of New York City point guards by the New York Knicks. Come join me. Let's talk about it.
Y'all ready? Yes. You have just stepped out into the world of chaos. Where everybody goes hard. Come on. Go hard. 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 Or go home. Never back down. You gotta hold your own. Go hard. 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 East Coast. Go hard. West Coast. Go hard. Midwest. Go hard. Dirty. Hurry up, everybody. Get online, buy your tickets, cause the game about to start.
I put up a post earlier, right, that talked about the treatment of New York City point guards by the New York Knicks organization. Had my guy Strickland up there, who was drafted by the Knicks. They should have rolled with him, but they passed it off to another New York City guard, which is Mark Jackson. So we get that. No hate to Mark. He should be in the Hall of Fame. But what they do to Mark, they shit Mark off. And he wound up having a stellar career with the Indiana Pacers, coming back to New York and kicking it. All right? Next up is our hometown guy from Brooklyn, Stephon Marbury. Come on. He came in as an NBA veteran. The treatment that was done by the Knicks towards Stephon was foul. We all know that. They sat him down, wouldn't play him. The treatment they gave him when his dad died, Mr. Marbury, the late great Mr. Marbury. Foul treatment. And now, current situation with Kimmel Walker. Look what they did to Carmelo. Right? We could go on and on, but I want to take it back for a minute and talk about, are we just focusing on the point guard situation? I want to know what your guys' thoughts on that situation, because what's happening with Kemba is crazy. They have a shooting guard playing the point for the Knicks. Look, I never really been a Knicks fan, so I understand how people feel if they're taking it personal. Now, I understand that the coach now is a defensive guy, right? Yes. Marco, you understand, right? Even when they're losing, they're not even referring to Kemba. It's like they bring our guys back only to embarrass them. What is the point? What is the point of drafting them? What is the point of bringing them back towards the end of their career just to shame them and bring their stock down? I don't see the sense in it. Yes, great person, never got in trouble off the court, right? Has been a complete pro throughout his career. Now, I'm saying this. I am not the biggest Knicks fan. I am not. And this is no hate towards the Knicks. This is just me standing up for our New York City guards that go through that situation, and I know it has to be tormenting. It has to be tormenting. Who's in the house? What's going on, Marco? We got two Marks now. William Mark, what's up? Man, this is crazy, man. So, I want to get into, the situation with Kemba tonight and focus on the reason why they're saying he's not in the lineup. They're saying Kemba don't play defense. Word? Kuda Montana, what's happening, man? What's up, Ray? This is crazy. Knicks get whooped by the Bucks. Kemba, not part of the lineup, not even getting played in the game, and has been diminished to the farthest part on the bench. Excuse the lighting. Hope y'all can see me real good. Give me a thumbs up if you can see me good. I'm just, in the process of changing up the studio. But I had to speak on this, man, because this is getting ridiculous. Said, even with 3 rotation players unavailable, including the starting point guard, Tom Thibodeau gave Walker a 7th consecutive health DMP. We call that David Nathan Phillips. That's when you don't even play. That's crazy. Right. A star, an all-star. When do an all-star gets pushed to the bench? Especially if he's not in trouble, if he's not a problem in the locker room. He has been the ultimate professional throughout his career. And what they do. What is his payment for that? Is it come here, get a big check, sit down, and enjoy the rest of your career, and fade into the dust? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. We got to change this. We got to start standing up for our own. Listen, they trying to push us to the back. I'm telling you, slowly but surely, you're going to start seeing this happen to a lot of NBA players getting pushed to the back. This is crazy, man. They bring other stars here to break records, right? The Steph Currys, the Michael Jordans, they bring these guys here to break records and to sell out the stadium, which is sold out every night. So to them, Kimmel Walker just some more tickets. And then when people get there, they don't even get a chance to see him play. He has a big fan base in New York. Why wouldn't you play him? What is the problem, Tom? You made sure when your guy, Derrick Rose, which is deservedly right, he was the MVP, the youngest MVP in NBA history. That's your guy. And I love Derrick Rose. Well, I love his game. I don't know him personally. But he was able to come here and flourish. Listen, I'm waiting for my guy to come on. I know I'm running a little late. Let me see if my guy Flea is on somewhere. See y'all. My guy Colin, he's a big Knicks fan. Maybe he can help make sense. This makes sense to me because it's not making sense. Time after time, I see in the paper, when I'm going through my feed, Kimmel Walker, still not in the rotation. Kimmel Walker, pushed to the farthest end of the bench. This guy has been a star since he was in Rice High School. This has been going on. Never in his career. So they say because he's a liability on defense. How many guys in the NBA is not a liability on defense? Let's be real. How many guys? We don't have enough hands in our fingers. A lot of these guys ain't built defensively in the NBA. The reason why a lot of these guys get signed is because what they could do on the offensive end. Yeah, but they don't. That's Brooklyn Nets. But I understand what you're saying. Those guys don't stop anybody either. Now, all of a sudden, it's his height. All these years, he's been an all-star. All these years, he's been dominating, helping his team reach the playoffs. He hasn't had any help. 6 foot, doing it on a high level. All of a sudden, now, he's not good enough to play. And what Tom Thibodeau said, well, it's basically a coach's decision. That's it, right? Said it's a bizarre situation that likely means Walker played his final game with the Knicks less than 2 months after the 4-time All-Star debuted at his home as the starting point guard. The issue was Walker was little value around the league. Wow. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? You put in all this work. They draft you. They give you these big contracts. And all of a sudden you become worthless to teams. Wow. And especially your hometown. We expect that to go on in other cities. If he was in Detroit, Atlanta, right? Who the hell is Trae Young stopping? Atlanta ride with him? Mind you, Kemba's not young like Trae Young, but I guarantee you, given the possessions and the time to do what he needs to do, he could put up the same numbers. This is total disrespect. Come on and holler at me. Let's talk about it. Invite yourself. Because this is getting crazy. They say he needs to be attached to a draft pick in the salary dump by the Celtics after last season. Then was bought out by the Thunder. With the Knicks, he's a shooting threat, unafraid of drawing charges, but still carries the worst rating on the squad. So now, y'all telling me, okay, yeah, I understand. Computer numbers, data, percentages, and stats now are controlling how the league perceives its players. Word. Facts. Steph and Dame. Yes. No, listen. Steph have Hall of Fame numbers. I get it. I get it, Marco. I get it. And they're not the same player. Because what Steph do supersedes what he has to do on defense. But again, we talking about Kimmel Walker in New York City. The New York Knicks are not the Golden State Warriors. They are not contending for a title. And they won't be for a very long time. For reasons like this. This is the reason why I was never a New York Knicks fan. They get them in and they ship them out. They don't ride with their team. They don't ride with their players. They don't see them through. I want to see how long Obi Toppin stays there before they figure out his stats don't match what they need and get him out of there. And he's going to go somewhere else, come back and kill the Knicks, and we all going to celebrate him. And when he come back to the Knicks, they're going to sell out the Garden. Who you fooling, man? Don't let me get on Stephon Marbury. Look what another reason why I'm talking about this. Because it all starts with that situation when I started to see it with Steph. What they did to him when his dad passed. How they treated him. No remorse. And expect him to sit there and be quiet and take this abuse over and over and over and over and over and over again. He goes to China becomes an icon. He couldn't do that for the Knicks. If you put the right pieces around Stephon at the time while he was at the Knicks, they win the championship. He has the heart of a champion. You know, I know he's a Lincoln guy. It's what we do. You put us in any situation, we're going to come out winning. And that's just New York City in general, not just Lincoln. You put us in a situation to succeed, we're going to come out smelling like roses, baby. Who they fooling, man? You can't tell me Kemba's not good enough to be on the court with these guys. A lot of these guys I never even heard of. Walker is not the problem. The free-falling Knicks, 12 and 15, losing 8 of their last 10. Word? Kemba couldn't help you. 12 and 15, you lost 8 of your last 10 games. And sitting my guy. Just got him sitting there rotting away. And he's being a professional. Sitting there, cheering on his team. He's not moping. Come on. Y'all got to make it make sense to me, man. Y'all got to make it make sense to me. They said on Sunday afternoon against the defending champs, Alec Burks was inactive for personal reasons, while R.J. Barrett and Obi Toppin was sentenced to COVID-19 protocol. Got Kemba on the bench still. Even with all those 2 heavy hitters out, still can't bring Kemba in. It's funny to me. Quentin Grimes, Kevin Knox, Miles McBride all got minutes over Walker, who again was active on the bench in his uniform. Listen, man. I don't know if this is a conspiracy towards New York City point guards. I just don't know. This is why I'm coming on here asking you guys. I'm trying to figure this out, man. I'm really trying to figure this out. Somebody got to make it make sense to me, man. Got to make it make sense to me. It's not making sense. So just based on the previous 2 games and the groups that played well in those 2 games, Thibodeau explained of his rotation decisions and then how the game unfolded and the size of their guards, things like that. We thought that it would give us a good chance to win. No! Obviously not. It's not making sense. Listen, if it's not making sense, you got to try something else. And then when you put him in the game and he doesn't perform to how you wanted him to perform because he haven't been playing. Oh, we're going to put him back on the bench. Got to make it make sense to me, man. Have to make it make sense to me. This is crazy. Said the Knicks in reality never stood a chance, not with their best players still, right? Leon Rose, 2021 summer, turned into a complete dud. Julius Randle committed 7 turnovers and managed just 8 points in 2 of 9 shooting in 35 minutes, outplayed by Milwaukee's front court. Randle says the intentions are in the right place. It's just not the execution. Yeah. When we gonna start executing the right plays and putting in the right players for the right situations? I'm not here arguing why the Knicks are not winning. Not my concern. I'm gonna keep it real. My concern is about our New York City players getting shunned towards the end of their career. This is crazy. Talk to me, people. Mark Jackson, 89-90. Look, they drafted Rod, right? They drafted Rod Strickland. Only to give the job to Mark Jackson and then ship him off. And what does Mark do? Think he's like second in assists of all time, second or third in assists all time in the NBA? Let me check this, make sure we got this right. He's fifth with 10,334. It's not bad for a New York City kid who hasn't made the Hall of Fame yet. Can't blame this on the Knicks. It's the politics of the NBA. But we definitely got to do a show about that as well. But this is just not making sense to me. Here's a guy, Kimmel Walker, who's been a stellar NBA player throughout his whole career. Let's look at his stats. This is crazy, yo. For the Knicks, he's averaging 11 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists. This is just his time at the Knicks. So he's been demoted because he's too small to guard NBA guards. He's been in the league all these years. 6 feet, 31. 31. He's not an old head. He's not 35. I understand once you get to 30, they figure your time is up in the NBA. But I think that's when you start to hit your stride and get it where you want to get it. It makes it a lot easier. This is just me talking. I just want to know, why is it that when our guys get to a position where they can really say, I came home and did the job I was supposed to do, and my city got behind me, and the organization that drafted me made sure that I went out in style? It's not happening. Let's look at Alec Burke numbers. See what this dude is doing. What's up, coach? We talking about Kimmel Walker and the treatment that the Knicks is giving him, man. This is crazy. He's averaging 11.4. 3 assists, 2 rebounds. No better than Kemba's. No, I'm good. Thanks for the uniform. Appreciate that. This is crazy. Thought he was averaging like 15 or something like that. 6, 7 assists. Not at all. He's averaging 2 assists, 11.4 points. I don't get that. I don't get that. So Walker appeared in 18 games for the Knicks in 24 minutes. 24. He's not even playing the whole game. Averaging 11.6, 11.7, 3 assists, 2 rebounds. He's averaging more rebounds than this guy Alec Burke is averaging in assists. They said men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Alec is averaging 3.7 rebounds. Kemba's averaging 2.6. What is this dude doing that Kemba can't do? I need to know. See, all you people that go to these New York Knicks games, you have to really start voicing your opinion. All of you guys out there. Start going and voicing your opinion. Because that's the only way it's going to matter. I'm voicing mine. I think he should be on the court. This is just me. He should be on the court. He should have a chance to give the Knicks a chance to win. Because that's the only way this is going to work. That's the only way this is going to work. If Kimmel Walker is not in the lineup, what kind of chance are you giving yourself? First of all, he's going to bring, once he comes on the court, the crowd is going to start to get into the game. And you know that energy that the crowd is going to give the players and the Garden is going to give the players that extra push for them to get over the top. Because Kimmel Walker is now on the court. And now they can see what he's been doing to the Knicks his whole career with no help. Now he got some, a little bit help, more help than he had when he was at Charlotte. You have to make it make sense to me, man. If it's not making sense, why do you draft him? Excuse me, why do you trade for him? Do you trade for him so you can ship him off somewhere else to diminish his career? To make sure that he finishes out his career the same way like other New York City point guards? They all leave and become great somewhere else. He's 31 years old. He's in the prime. This is the prime. And that part where he start to, get to those end of the careers, 32, 33, 34. You don't hear about him in the clubs. He hasn't been abusing his body. Comes from a good family. Stays in a tip-top shape. What is the problem? Make it make sense to me. If it don't make sense to me, I'm going to keep voicing my opinion. So it is my opinion. I heard what everybody had to say today. It's just crazy. We read off some of the things that people said in the post today. When I put up the post, a lot of people was commenting. My guy King Mega, right? Said true. F the Knicks. What about Mark Jackson? We talked about that. 89-90. Crazy how the Knicks do out New York City point guards. And that's 5'9" Ali Young. Quincy Daddy said, that's a whole lot of facts. My guy Dave from Dave Joint said the difference between the other two, Ross Strickland, is that Rob was drafted to the Knicks and the other two are veterans that had already played in the league for years. But the that diminished what they did. And I responded today. I said, good point, but the treatment was definitely disrespectful of Raw's talent. Just saying, they all deserve better. Ted Portwine said, don't forget Mark Jackson. They claimed to have parted ways with him because they wanted him to get faster. Just like they said Kimmel Walker is too short to be in the lineup. They claim Mark Jackson wasn't fast enough, but his brain thought fast enough to make him 5th all-time in assists. He also said, and go in another direction, only to bring him back when things did not work out for them. People forget Mark start. Yeah, Mark first did with the Clippers. Their team made the playoffs. That's so true. I told you, you put us New York City guys in any situation, we gonna come out smelling like roses. Only thing we need is a chance. It's the only thing we need is a chance. That's it. You don't keep them at the end of the bench and say, be here for our locker room. Be the consummate professional, which he always has been. Anthony Joseph says, what the hell happened with Kemba? He's not even in the rotation. Shaking my head. BK Kondo said, not cool. We down 3 and no Kemba last night. Not cool. All we love is the only, my guy Kyle, he disagreed. And I wanted to come on here tonight to get his point of view. But he said the only reason why he disagreed because he's a diehard Knicks fan. So I understand my guy. And definitely respect his point of view. We have more. Who's this? Harlem Rin says, Knicks treatment is horrible for decades. Arthur Maxwell. Ross Strickland, number 1. Stephon Marbury, number 2. Kemba, number 3, in that order. The treatment has been horrible. And I don't think people in New York City, either they don't care or they just want to see a show every night. And they don't really care about us New York City ball players who's coming up and want to come back to our hometown and do well. I don't know. So I'm trying to figure this out. You can ask any kid growing up if they would like to play for the Knicks when they go to the NBA. That's like the dream come true. But that dream could turn into a nightmare. I can imagine what Kemba is going through as a person. You can be sitting on all the millions in the world. You still want to get on that court and perform and show you still got skills to play. That's all it's about. Getting a chance to show your skills. And that's all you can do. My guy Brian Marina said, all 3 great players, no doubt. Not sure about the point guard label. Strickland definitely deserved better. I personally don't consider Walker or Marbury point guards, nor do I James Harden. Ball dominant guards, but not point guards. Moves were quite possible made to get more ball movement or better leadership. But if it's not working, they lost 8 of their last 10. 12 and 15. If it's not working, you got to do something else. That's all I'm saying. If it's not working, you got to do something else. something got to give. Got to get my guy off the bench. We're not done. My guy B. Waters says, sometime I wish they never came home to play. The same media that praised him definitely turned against him. BK Waters, man, I couldn't say it better myself. The same people that praise you on the way up be the ones stabbing you in your back on the way down. They follow him all the way through college. Y'all saw what he did when he was in college at the Garden. And trust me, they drafted him because they know that magic is still there. It's something about that place that makes us take our games to the next level, especially when our people get behind us. I just think people be at the top, yeah, keep them on the bench. We sold out already. We good. He can still do those same things, given the position, given the time, given the confidence by the coach. Y'all drafted too many guards in general. You got a whole bunch of these little dudes on the bench. I'm going to go with my veterans until they can't do it anymore. He's averaging more than the guy you got starting in front of him and averaging more assists than him. So it can't be that he's, been ball dominant all the time. It's not making sense to me. We talk about Kimmel Walker. Let's talk. My guy, Progressive Never Regress said he agrees with what I said. And my guy, East New York Dre said that's why they STIBK, whatever that means. This is crazy. Look all the comments. This is all the comments. Just for the Kemba situation today. Listen. We got to stand up for our own. That's all I'm saying. If we don't stand up for our own, New York's going to get pushed to the back of the line. And they're not going to respect us anymore. We still got more players coming up. We still got more players willing to take that chance to come home and be hometown heroes. Kimmel Walker deserves to be treated better than what he's being treated right now. He deserves that respect. He put in that work to get him that shot that will allow him to finish his career in greatness. Who else? Who else you gonna bring? What, you gonna ship him off somewhere else? Diminish his credibility? Said word around the league, Kimmel Walker doesn't have any more work. He's too small, can't guard anyone. When was that when he's making all-star teams? I never heard this before till he came home. All of a sudden, he's a liability. Stephon was putting up 20 points a game. He wasn't good enough. Kept him on the bench. Mark Jackson had two New York City guards. Mark Jackson, Rod Strickland. Draft one, Rod, then gave the ball to Mark, got rid of Rod, then got rid of Mark. If someone can tell me in our present time what New York City guard that came back to New York City and they let him live, I'm waiting. Who can name one? Who can name a New York City guard that the New York Knicks got behind? Listen, I don't know if you guys seeing what I'm seeing, but I told you, it's been a conspiracy for a long time. And not even conspiracy, it's just been the truth about the treatment of our New York City players. Once they reach a certain level, they bring them back to New York City only to feed them to the sharks or to bury them. They trying to bury Kemba right now in his own city. With all that's going on, people really need something to cheer for. And what better way to cheer for the hometown kid who came home to do good. And that's all my guy from Rice trying to do. He's trying to finish up his career on a high note in his hometown and be supported by the same people who supported him on his way up. Not to see his demise. He didn't come back to be buried. He came back to be celebrated. I'm quite sure he could have went somewhere else, but he chose to come home. And what happens when he came home? They got everybody back in the garden. They let him start, right? That's what they do. They dangle that fruit. They let him start. First few games, they got their attendance back. Okay, we good. Put them on the bench now. They're going to keep coming back. What's going on? What's going on, people? Listen, we talked about the situation with, the New York Knicks treatment of our New York City guards. Let's talk about it. I'm on here. I got my guys coming up from SC. They should be here in a few. So until then, I'm on live, baby. We talking about Kimmel Walker. We talking about how the Knicks have been treating him, keeping him on a bench, making him dig his own grave. We're not talking about in the literal sense. We're talking about basketball. We're talking about something he did his whole life. And now y'all want to take this man's confidence away. Y'all want to take everything he's earned and shove it to the side. Because you saying his numbers don't match up, or when he's in the the lineup, the Knicks aren't doing well. Well, you lost the last 8 out of 10 games without him playing. So we don't switch it up. We don't switch it up. We don't try something different again. Because in the beginning, you had him in there, and you said that it didn't fit what y'all was trying to do. Then y'all started losing, and now you're still going to keep him on the bench. Make it make sense to me. What up, Corey? It's not making sense. Still a real comedy show. What up? It's not making sense. All my real basketball heads know Kimmel Walker deserved to be in the game. He has the heart of a lion, the heart of a champion. He's a 4-time NBA All-Star. Besides Derrick Rose, who else? Randall hasn't been on top of his game, been a consistent All-Star. You want to put players in that been in those type of situations to see if they can make the team better. This has been something the Knicks have been doing for this countless of years, man. Bring Carmelo Anthony back. Oh, now, since we brought Carmelo Anthony back, the Knicks haven't been winning. Ship Carmelo Anthony out. Make his reputation bad. Whatever's happening out, the Lakers can't control that. But just imagine, still got Carmelo. Still had Kemba. Derrick Rose, Randall. You give me and with the young guys that they have now. Now I'm telling you, Obi Toppin, I want to see what they do with him. I want to see how long they keep him. I want to see how long they ride with him since they drafted him. I want to see that. I want to see them ride him all the way through. Or when he had his little bump in the road, are they going to get rid of him? And he's not even a guard. But he's from New York City. And it's just been the treatment of our New York City players over the last 15 years. You don't have to be Stevie Wonder to see what's going on. Or you could be Stevie Wonder and see what's going on. Because you can hear the crowd. You can hear the rumbles in the street. I hear the guys talking. I'm in the barbershops. I hear them talking. And they want to know what's going on. Why Kemba not playing? They losing anyway. You hear the guys. They losing anyway. What's the point? I don't know what it's going to take. But I definitely want to voice my opinion tonight. Because if this is allowed to continue to happen, what's up? What's up? Listen, bro, I've been on for about an hour talking about this situation with Kemba, man. This is crazy. What up, fam? You got some time to talk real quick? I just want to hear your opinion about the Kimmel Walker situation. What do you think about the Kimmel Walker situation? Stephon Marbury, Mark Jackson, Ross Strickland, all with the New York Knicks. What's going on? I just want to know. I need somebody else. Maybe it's me. Maybe because I don't like the Knicks. Maybe I'm being biased. I don't know, but when I put up the post and I see all the reactions, I'm saying, wow, people are seeing what I'm seeing. So I know I'm not crazy. Look, it's New York City against the world, baby. I know he didn't come here to be buried. I'm going to keep saying that. He didn't come here so his family can come watch him sit on the bench game after game after game after game. With them losing. They lost 8 of their last 10 games. You got to understand. He's been a consummate pro on and off the court. He's been the guy in the locker room. You still don't hear about him pouting. You still don't hear about him complaining to the media. He hasn't had his PR person, put out any negative news about his situation. And we're going to sit like this is not happening. We're going to sit back and like he don't matter. Telling you, if the people don't say anything, this going to go unnoticed. Says Stephon Marbury was at the end of his, reign of being a great player. And he goes to China. And he doesn't just go to China in his first year, he wins the championship. No, he worked his way to it. But once he got going, you couldn't stop him. And he could have been doing the same thing in the NBA, given the chance. What up, fam? What's going on? We talking about New York Knicks treatment of New York City guards. It's a shame what they're doing to our players. Time and time again, we see the treatment of our players who have historically been great. But once they come home, it's like they get buried. They get trashed in the news. Their careers start to take a downslide. Now, if this is only happening to Kimmel Walker and not happening to Mark Jackson, Stephon Marbury, Ross Strickland, I wouldn't have too much to say. But it seems like there's a pattern. The same constant pattern over and over and over again, year after year after year. The guys come home to be celebrated, maybe finish off their career, maybe finish off on a high note. Capers, what's up? And what happens? They get pushed to the back of the bench. You start him to sell the tickets, right? That's at the beginning of the season, right? You trade for him, put him in the start lineup to get the tickets kicking back in again, to make sure everybody coming back to the Garden. Because you're competing against the Brooklyn Nets, who are doing way better than the Knicks. You guys ain't the king of the city anymore. So you're going to take our kings, who's came up in our New York City basketball world go other places, become all-stars, come home to be buried. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. What's your thoughts? You have any thoughts on what's going on with Kimmel Walker? Have you been paying attention to what's going on with the Knicks and the treatment of New York City guards? My only dog in this fight is to protect and have the back of our New York City players. That's it. I'm not riding with these organizations. These organizations will build you up only to break you down. And they'll get you on your downslide. We haven't had a hometown guy to cheer for in a long time. An official all-star. Someone that the city could say, you know what? They're from here, and we're going to ride with them. We didn't have that in a long time. We finally get Kimmel Walker, the cardiac kid, to come back to his hometown and bring some of that magic back with him. Because when you're a good person, along with coming from a good family, you're good on the court and good off the court. Hasn't been in trouble, hasn't been arrested, he don't party, he's not out there using drugs, abusing his wife. All those things that a lot of these other guys, and we're not talking about New York City players, but we're talking about these sports stars who usually get that tag. And then these organizations push them out, push them down. That don't come with Kimmel Walker's package. Not at all. But what happens? What happens? When you finally come home, he's only 31 years old. I never played in the NBA. But when I was 31, man, I was in the prime. I could still go out there and give it to the guys, but my mind was so sharp compared to when I was younger, where everything was just my athletic ability. Your God-given talent is going to shine, but especially if you have a strong mind, you're able to see things before it happens. Even though he's been coming back and killing New York every year, when you get him now, he's too short. He's a defensive liability. Your whole team is a defensive liability. Y'all lost 80 your last 10. Y'all 12 and 15. Who y'all fooling? Who you fooling? I'm just sick of it. This is the reason why I never cheered for the Knicks. These organizations, even though they're 8 and 10, the Knicks never lose. They're undefeated. You know why the Knicks are undefeated every year? Let me give you a chance to think about that. Do you know why the Knicks is undefeated every year? Year after year after year after year. Talk to me, people. You know why they're undefeated? Because the Garden sell out every night. This is why they never bring any marquee players to come to the city. Nobody wants to really come here. No superstar really wants to come to New York City and play. because this is the thing they have to deal with. And they know that those ticket prices and those seats are way more important than who they putting on the floor. Talk to me, New York. Them selling out the Garden is way more important than who they putting on the floor. Those days of the Patrick Ewings, Bernard Kings, those days are over. We are worried about selling out the Garden. That's it. So who cares if your favorite player is on the bench and we are losing? Who cares? People going to the concession stands, getting full, getting drunk, having fun, the time of their lives, enjoying their experience. Walking out of there losers. Because the only people that's winning, really, the players are getting paid. This is their job. But the only people that's really winning are the organizations. That's it. The organization. The only people that's winning is the organizations. And we just talking about overall in all sports. We talk about who's really winning. If we don't stand up for something, we're going to fall for anything. You got to make it make sense to me, people. Talk to me. Got to make it make sense. This is not making sense. So I just wonder, air some grievances. As y'all see, I'm getting prepared for season 3 coming up. So right now, I'm organizing the studio. My lighting is a little off. Don't worry about it. See, I got the logo on the back. Right? Trying to get that right. So, but it's time that we start to stand up for our New York City ball players. For real. And the only thing I'm saying is, Kemba deserves a shot. That's it. Give him another shot. Give him off that bench. Give him the respect he deserves. If anything, you guys are losing. Now, if you guys are winning and he was on the bench, it's not too much I can say. I'll be honest. Not too much I can say. But if you losing and he's still on the bench, what's the point? Talk to me. Let me know something. I want to know what you guys feel out there. This is sickening, man. How many times do I have to open up the paper and see the same thing? The same story. Knicks losing. Knicks losing. Knicks not even in the playoffs. Knicks get rid of another NBA, New York City great. Then we see our papers dogging them. Look, Tom Thibodeau is a good coach. Yes, R.I.P. Conrad McCray. Definitely my dude. Salute to him and his family. Defensive-minded coach. Your guys ain't stopping nobody. You got a bunch of dudes that can barely play defense. They're not putting up any points. And let's keep it real. How many teams in the last few years was dominant on the defensive side? Mind you, defense win games. I'm a defensive guy, I understand that. When we talking about the NBA, folks, the NBA is a different beast. Talk to me. Gotta make it make sense to me. Just been frustrated seeing my guy who I've been watching since high school. Been watching Kimmel Walker since high school. Been watching him in college. And I watched his whole career develop. No one deserved this treatment. Not to give him a chance. You're not playing him at all. You're burying him in a bench. Listen, people, I've been ranting long enough. Hope you guys understand where I'm coming from, because it's important that we stand by our guys. What's going on, people? And let them know we got their back. Because the media, they're saying it. You know, there's a few articles out there that saying the Knicks are losing, Kemba's still not playing. Why do you trade for him then? What's the point of trading for him if you're not going to play him? There's so many other guys you could have traded for. But you bring our hometown guys back so you can sell tickets. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Talk to me, people. Talk to me. They do it time and time again. They bring our guys back to either crucify us, make us look bad, or bury us at the end of the bench. Do I have to remind you? They drafted Strickland, gave him the rock, took it back out of his hand, got rid of him, gave it to Mark. Took the balls out of Mark's hand, traded him. And all those guys went to become all-stars somewhere else. And even if Mark wasn't a top all-star, he became the 5th all-time leader in assists. That got to be worth something. And look what the NBA does to him. No Hall of Fame. That's a whole nother show. But our New York City point guards need to be respected. They need to be honored, and they need to be treasured. All of our players from New York. We got to start standing up for our own, because maybe the next 5 or 6 years, there's going to be another kid from New York coming up, and the Knicks may draft him, only to use him to sell tickets and bury him at the end of the bench and then trade him off for another player that they feel can help them win games. Talk to me, people. We talk about New York Knicks and the treatment of New York City point guards. This got to end. Big Mike, what up? Cone, what up? Who's that? That yellow? Okay, Turner, what up? I am Ebo, what up? Biggs, what up? Kim, what up? Talk to me, people. Spread the word. Knicks got to do better by our players. It's something about our New York City players that when they come home, they get treated like dirt. And then go other places and pop off. Hey, Karen, what's happening? What's going on? How you feel about the Kimmel Walker situation, Karen? Do we need to be on the bench? Do you agree with the Knicks burying him? Oh, yeah. I still got to give you a picture. And got that merch for you, too. So let me know what you want to do. Hit me up so we can make that happen. But right now, this situation been getting on my nerves for the last few weeks. And I've been meaning to talk about it, but I'm in preparation to get ready for season 3 for Basketball Heads, the New York City Basketball Network. So we're doing a lot of rebranding right now. But I had to get this off my chest. It's very important to me to make sure that we stand by our players in New York City, to know they got somebody in the media, because yes, I'm part of the media now, that has their back. Because if this keep going on, we're going to see the demise of our players from New York City that want to come home and finish up their career. Marshall came back to Brooklyn. I wonder how things would be if Kemba was in Brooklyn. He probably wouldn't be starting, but I know he'll have a shot to play. They're not even giving my guy a shot to play. That's all I'm saying. He deserved better treatment. With saying that, I'm going to get out of here because it's about that time. You've been watching Basketball Heads. I'm your host, Glenn Pooh Harding, and we are the official home for New York City basketball. Peace.